Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to Forza Motorsport 7, where we are technically halfway through the game. It might be a little bit less because the Seeker Cup didn't require as many races. It only required 2 plus the 3 extras. Breakout required 3 plus the 3 extras. Evolution required 3 plus the 3 extras. This one is going to require 4 plus the 3 extras. But here we are with Domination. Let us begin with some Ken Block Ford RS 200 1-on-1.
Well, that was the Group B era of rallying, and so that's when I really started watching and paying much more attention to rally, was mid to late 80s, and that's when Ford had the RS 200, which was their foray into the Group B era, and it eventually got stopped because the cars became too fast to race. People were starting to die, so they moved on to a slower era, and the RS 200 is my all-time favorite car of any car on the planet.
Okay, that seems like a great reason to stop driving quite so fast. If people are starting to die because you might be actually pushing that speed a little bit too hard, yeah. Also, it kind of sounds like he's saying groupie as in like a Rockstar groupie instead of Group B, but that's just me. Excuse me. Okay, the handling on this is not quite as clean as I'd like. There's something stiff about the handling of this car. But I am already in first out of 2 people. So there's that. Whether I can hold first is another story, but I will try my best. See, that was a very poor turn. Yep. Alright, at the very least we reacquired first not too long after losing it. Yeah, this car definitely feels like the turning on it is not quite as good as I would like. No. Stop. Alright, I guess I don't have to rewind after that horrible turn. Luckily he didn't speed by me, although I think that also is partially due to the fact that this track is pretty narrow. So I don't know if my opponent had much of a choice. After I horribly spun out. But I seem to be frequently both gaining a little bit of distance and then immediately losing it. Alright, he's not that far behind, but... But he's not really catching up at the same time. So there is that. Nope, he's catching up a little bit. I just don't want to suddenly... Like, I think I got a little bit lucky in regards to my horrible spin out earlier. And I don't want to require that same amount of luck a second time in a row. But in theory, now that we're almost... Yep, this is where I spun out. We're almost at the end of the track. All right, I should be good. I was a little bit worried towards the end there, especially after I slammed against the wall. All right. It's not quite domination if you win by only a couple seconds, but as the famous movie goes, it doesn't matter if you're winning by an inch or country mile. Winning is winning. Let's buy this formula. Oh, I've finished leveling up. Never mind. Still going. I was gonna say, level 17 seemed like an odd number to stop at. Alright. And we now have a 1985 Ford Evolution. Ooh. Alright, what is next? The Ford Fiesta Hoonigan Autocross. A lot of Fords in this particular section.
Oh, we love a hot hatch. They're fun, they're affordable, they're accessible, they're attainable. They're not going beyond legal limits, but they're fun. And they're practical. So you can drive one every day, you can have it as your only car, and you can live the dream down your favorite B road every time you drive it.
That's what I was saying earlier. That's the thing about the hatchback. Is like it doesn't necessarily represent the fantasy of a racing game such as this. But it is affordable. Oh, one of these. This actually might be better than the previous one. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm gonna have a shorter amount of time to do it, but this car is both easier to maneuver, or I'm expecting it to be easier to maneuver than the truck, and it's also narrower and shorter, meaning it's easier to see the gates. And easier to squeeze between the gates as well. Like there's more wiggle room. So yeah, I'm about a third of the way there. Both in... and gates more than in time, unfortunately. But then there might be like a section, like right now, where they have a bunch of gates in a row. So yeah, I'm about halfway in both gates and time. Yeah, this is a much easier obstacle course. Or at the very least, it's a much easier vehicle to deal with for this kind of obstacle course. To the point in which, like, I don't even mind, like, stepping on the gas, maneuvering it. I didn't even have to rewind a single time. Like, with the truck, it required a few rewinds. But this one was much, much more maneuverable. Thank you. And we got a Ford Fiesta. All right, we'll do one more. The birth of Grand Prix racing. Step back in time and experience a bygone era of racing when wealthy gentleman drivers sought ever greater speed, when cars were powered by airplane engines and there wasn't a safety feature in sight. Wow.
I mean, they do heroic things every day, racing drivers. You know, they drive and do things with cars that mere mortals can't, and what they do is heroic. So anybody who gets into a racing car and does what they do is a hero.
So says the racer. All right. I don't like my positioning. That went way better than I was expecting it to go. Ah, damn it. Nope. That was my constant fear in regards to the Formula E cars. Is that the tires would just get kind of 8 laps for this thing. Wow. Alright. Well, I definitely have my work cut out for me in this regard. Already in second place. I should definitely be able to get back to get up into first before the 8 laps are over. Okay, lost first, but I will get it back. I have every confidence. And somehow my split time is better. All right. Let's try not to slide out into the grass. Also, somehow managed to slide... Oh my gosh. Slide out into the grass 3 times this race without rewinding. Let's try to avoid doing that again. There we go. Not a good turn, but... Oh my gosh. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I've got 5.5 laps to catch up. Clearly, I think I'm taking these turns a little bit too sharply, considering how easy it is for me to catch up with the rest of with that first place racer again and again, despite finding myself in the grass over and over and over. Like, perhaps the AI is just taking these turns a little bit softer than I am, which is keeping them on course. But also meaning that they're not necessarily picking up that much extra speed. Although even if I don't necessarily take a turn that fast, not sliding out into the grass is probably going to enable me to improve my split time anyway, by itself. No, no, no. Okay. Still an improved split time, but that's... like, my split time is being based entirely on my terrible previous laps, so as long as I don't fly off the race course... See, that was a better recovery. Yeah, I think with this race and these cars' actual maneuverability, I might actually have to be a little bit gentler on the turns than I'm thinking I need to be. And that was apparently a perfect turn. All right. At the very least, even with all of my antics that I've had in this particular race, one, I haven't had to rewind, and two, I'm still in first. I'm not sure what surprises me more. Probably the rewind thing. Like, in both this race and a previous, the first one with the one-on-one, I've had terrible spinouts. But I was able to get back on track. Maybe that's what I need to learn, actually, is to have a little bit more confidence in myself despite failure. But then again, there have been races in which, like, I would spend the entire race trying to catch up with the first place, second place, sometimes third or fourth place driver, and for some reason just be unable to catch up, let alone conserve myself with overtaking. So I wonder also if there's a certain element of difficulty that's added on because of the Drivatar AI, whereas I believe this doesn't use the Drivatar AI. Well, I guess it has to a certain degree. So it could also be a combination of the course plus the handling of these vehicles, which, I mean, these are old-timey cars. They did the best with what they could. Slapping on a plain engine to a car was the style of the time. And we've got a very, very nice lead heading into the final lap of the Sam Posey Straight. So, I've got a lot of room to fail, which is nice. But as long, even if I take these, like, every single turn a little bit too cautiously, like, I feel as though I am far enough ahead that I don't necessarily need to worry about it at the moment. I can just carry on my lead to the end and reap the just rewards. How is this an old-timey race? They didn't have helicopters back then. All right. So we've completed the separate little races. Now we just have the sets to do. Which it's gonna take 4 sets to complete out this cup. Ah, a 1934 Alfa Romeo. In the meantime, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.